Okay, let's go ahead and talk about closing upfront fees, or what I term the engagement fee structure. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version behind how this all started for me and how I made the transition from 100% contingency recruiting, which is what I learned 20 plus years ago in big corporate America with staffing companies, along the way to when I owned my first staffing company in 2001, and then my second one in 2009, and the ones that I have now as well. Always did contingency. And then in 2015, I started a new staffing company again in a very niche field. And this is where the idea of the engaged search sprung and the light bulb went off, and it's been a game changer for my business in a big way. And so I'll tell you how it all developed and why it became or it derived. So in 2015, I have this new staffing company. I am at it again, making 100 cold calls on LinkedIn, going to trade shows, building a book of business, all the stuff that I absolutely love to do, believe it or not. I've got a huge passion for developing and starting staffing companies and also teaching recruiters how to be successful with it and then scale it and then sell it. That's my thing. So this was the beginning of a new company that I started called Broadstaff. And what we were doing was getting a lot of new positions, a lot of new job orders, but these were also new relationships. Okay. And with that comes time to cultivate and develop. And the trust level is new. It's a fresh relationship. So I was taking a lot of job orders that were falling through, and it was becoming very discouraging and deflating, not only for myself, for my recruiters. They would work around the clock for free, essentially. Now, we had them on a salary, but where they made their money was in commission. And the sense of reward of making a placement is a really big deal when you're a recruiter. Psychologically, you feel like you're doing your job and you're doing it well and you're achieving something. So I'm bringing these job orders in. We're working on them for a day, 2 days, a week, 2 weeks, sometimes a month, finding a candidate, submitting the candidate, and finding out that we're getting no response back from our client, which is frustrating. Or the client's responding back, hey, so sorry, but this job is no longer a job anymore. We lost budget approval. Or we filled this job internally from a referral. Sorry, we didn't tell you about it, right? Or we used one of your competitors to fill this role. Bottom line is there's an array of reasons why these jobs weren't working. But I know that we were spending a lot of time and a lot of money in our job postings and hours worked to fill these roles on contingency, and it was frustrating and we were losing money and time. What can we do? Boom, light bulb went off. I need to figure out a way to get our clients more bought in. I wanted to really strengthen the relationship, and I needed our clients to have skin in the game. That was the key phrase, skin in the game. If they had that, then I know they'd be in tune with our production and what we're doing. And it would be a healthier relationship, more of a trust level. And bottom line is we'd make more money and be able to close more deals. Some things developed from this, which I never anticipated. One thing was it helped our cash flow, which I didn't even think of, which was awesome. So the premise is this. You talk with the client, you take a new requisition. If it's a direct hire role, then you explain to your client, hey, look, we work on engaged search. Well, what's that? So happy you asked. Let me explain it to you. We take an upfront fee from you, Mr. Client, and that fee consists of $2,500. And we take that in the form of payment of an ACH today, so that we can start working on your business and assign one of our recruiters exclusively to your job rec. We can't do that. We can't start working and recruiting on your job rec until we get that $2,500 in our account. So you may ask why. You may say that some of your competitors don't do this, and that's fine. And I'd like to find out how their production has been for you. I sometimes ask that question. And a lot of times I get the answer that they haven't found the best candidate yet, and that's why they're calling on us. So I also go as far as explaining to the client, the reason why we do this is because we've been burnt in the past. And, I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but we have to protect our time for our recruiters and our investment. And the spirit of our team is invaluable. And I must keep morale up with our recruiters and keep them engaged. And this fee structure, this upfront payment, proves to my recruiters that you're serious about filling your recs, that you're bought in. And nothing is stronger than that. When we get this $2,500 engaged fee into our bank account, we notify our recruiter. And I got to tell you, their morale, their spirit, their motivation to fill your rec is like nothing I've ever seen before. Most recruiters, would come in at 9 o'clock, go home at 5 o'clock. They're watching the clock. Not in our culture. In our culture, when we have an engaged search, their chances of filling this rec and getting to closure are over 90%. That's a proven thing. So that means money in their pocket. And so they stay sometimes until 9 o'clock at night. They work weekends. They do whatever they can to fill your role. Huge. So for us, it's not about the money. The $2,500 is really not that big of a deal, okay, in the grand scheme of things, especially if we're going to make $25,000 or $30,000 on this head fee. So we tell the client that, look, it's not the money. We're not looking to earn a profit here on your $2,500. What it is, it's skin in the game. It shows us that you're serious about your business. You're not going to cancel on us tomorrow or next week after you put a ton of effort in, okay? That's why we ask for this money up front. And to take it a step further, Mr. Client, you have nothing to lose. This money is 100% refundable. We give it back to you on the first invoice. So when we find your candidate, you agree to hire our candidate, we place the candidate, the first invoice we send to you is a deduction of $2,500. No money lost. I'll take it a step further. You might be thinking, well, what if you find me 0 candidates? Doesn't make sense. Why am I going to waste my money? If 30 days go by and you don't receive one viable candidate from us, and you have my word on this, you'll get all your money back. We don't want to take that money. That's not what we're interested in doing. So I can tell you, in the 5 years that I've incorporated the engaged search, I've yet to return that money to somebody in that 30-day period. We've always come through and found at least one candidate for them that they agreed was viable. Most of the time we make the placement and we rebate or refund the client on the first invoice. So that's how the direct hire side works. The contract or contract to hire side, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit of a tougher sell, but not if you pitch it the right way. And I do have examples of a phone call that I did, a recording that I did with a new client with a rec intake call where I pitched this at the end, and I can refer you to that call for further education on it. But I dropped the rate, the $2,500, down to $1,000 or $1,500, depending on how that phone call goes and the trust level that I have. And I tell the client the same thing. Hey, look, I know this is unorthodox. I'm sure it's different for you, but let me tell you why this is so helpful for both of us. This gives us skin in the game. It allows us to be more motivated to fill your position. My recruiters are bought in. They can't wait to fill this role or to work on it. They're commission driven, etc. Not to mention, Mr. Manager, now that you've given us this $1,000, you're going to hold us more accountable. You're going to want answers from us, and we're happy to give them to you. So this really forms a stronger partnership. Most of the time, my clients agree to it. They tell me that that money is minimal, no big deal. How do I pay you? I send them a ACH form, which we can share with you as well, and they go ahead and put the funds in our account. And I get notified, and we're off to the races, and we start recruiting on that role. If a client objects or doesn't want to pay that, that's good news. Guess what? You just avoided a time waster, a tire kicker, I call them. Move on. If a company can't pay you $1,000 to start a search, you don't want to work with them. Okay, that's my opinion. Guys, work with better businesses. Okay, work with stickier job recs, companies that are somewhat stable, pay their bills. They're not going to fret over $1,000. That's a joke. And that's how I see it. Posture and positioning in your role is everything. Okay. Don't be desperate. Don't work in a desperate fashion that comes across to your recruiters, not only to yourself and to your clients. They can step all over you. No, what we do is not easy. Finding hard to find candidates is a full-time job in every sense of the word. And it's hard to do. and you earn every penny of that, or you should earn or deserve every penny of that. So stick to your guns, be very confident, be sure of yourself when you ask for that engaged search, and you'll be making more money. Your cash flow will increase, and your recruiters will be so excited to fill these roles, and it's a success for everybody.